Greetings everyone, here we are with an extra video tacked on to the previous video. The previous video is specifically only covering the obvious differences between the two versions of this adventure. One for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, one for Pathfinder 2nd edition. This video is specifically me just paging through the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition version of Abomination Vaults Adventure Path from Paizo. MSRP is for $69.99. Weirdly, they chose to put Pathfinder on the top of the book. My issue with that is that might be confusing for people who are trying to buy this as a present. That it might be like Pathfinder 5th edition or something like that. Yeah. So, let's continue on with this. They have a nice light green inside inner page here. Title page, table of contents. Each has a campaign overview section, starting at Chapter 4. Chapter 8 is Otari from James Jacobs. And then Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10 are all the chapters between all the different books. There's a total of, I think, 3 or 6 of them. I have a brain fart for 5 seconds there. But each one of these chapters largely covers a level in the Abomination Vaults or Gauntlight. There is a content warning down here about there being scary things in this adventure. All the DM really needs to say is that there's a lot of fiends, undead, and aberrations and creepy crawlies in this adventure. And if any player who has an issue with that, they can sit out this adventure. That's my general policy about it. So here we go. For the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition version, the adventure toolbox is on 212, and it ends out at 223. Monsters and NPCs start at 224 and ends out just before 286. And 286 happens to be the glossary. It has a nice little quick overview of the campaign for the Game Master. Up here in the top corner happens to be a 5e, just to remind all the people that it's a 5th edition product. You have Gauntlet up here, the tower, as well as the first level, the Gauntlight 8 Ruins. This is preferable for level 1 party members. Level 2, Servants' Quarters, is preferable for level 2 party. Library is level 3, with level 3 party. Level 4 is level 4 party, which is Bellacora's Retreat. Level 5 is the Arena, which is level 5 characters. Level 6 is Laboratories, which is level 6 characters. Level 7 is preferable for level 7 characters. Level 8 is the Farm, which is preferable for level 8 characters. Level 9 is where characters should be around level 9 by the time they get here. And the 10th level, which is the Temple, your character should be at level 10 by the time they get to this point. This will end out with the characters should be leveling up either from they've already leveled up as they got to the end of level 10, or they should level up to a level 11 as they complete it, depending on how completionist your players are. There's also this nice little jaunt off right here, as you can see here on the map, that is basically a nice little wave of the hand that says the Game Master is free to add on extra stuff. This is also evident right here, and over here on the opposite side, these little trail offs. I actually do very much like this little detail, because this basically means that the Game Master is free to addendum on extra stuff. So there you go. This first part of the video should be applicable to players. I will tell you when you should flip off as a player and Game Master should stay on. So for players, the meta is creepy crawlies, insectoid kind of creatures, aberrations, undead demons. Okay? It goes over the general history of Bellacoria, why she's so peeved off at the people of Absalon and Otari, campaign advice, basically what I just told you a moment ago, pointing at the map, the history of Otari and Bellacoria. This is a nice little intro page here. You got overview of Otari, the township. This is a nice little town. You have actually 2 adventures, Trouble Under Otari and Menace in Otari, which are one is in the beginner box and one is in another adventure booklet in itself. It goes over the basic history of Otari as well as the various important locations and characters throughout this book. You have important people like Minhems, which is also in charge of the lumberyard. Various important other people. You will recognize her from Trouble Under Otari, Tamily Tendervalley, and you also recognize Reuven Siverix, which is a tiefling chaotic good, who is also from who is going to come up in this adventure. As you go into chapter 1, this is the overview map. This is officially the point in which players should drop off the video. And we should be getting into chapter 1, chapter 2 of the adventure. Okay. Chapter 1 is just a simple above surface adventure. This is mostly just random creatures that have occupied the upper level here. This goes over the little history of Gauntlight. Some little gremlins and misfits and bugoid creatures. Large flies, large spiders. You have a little troublemakers, large centipedes. Some people who have creepy crawly issues might get upset with this beginning section, but it's mostly all appropriate for level 1 / into level 2 characters. As you get towards the end of this adventure, some of the creatures get a little bit tougher. Then you go down the next level under there. It's still pretty much the same kind of thing as before. The creepy crawly bugoid creatures kind of get bigger and meaner as the adventure goes along. You got more wormies. It's mostly just like ghoulies and bugs, kind of just how it's flowing so far. A little Morlock action here. But then you start, as you can see here, you're starting to get into the cosmic horror demon side of things. As it travels deeper into this adventure, you'll see more and more creepy crawly demon-esque insectoid creatures come into action. This is into level 3. As I said, chapters are basically divided up amongst levels, so that's pretty much part of the point. More devils, more elemental demons. There are some side tasks here and there, some ghouls here. You still have the creepy crawly kind of vibe. This adventure is largely, as I said, creepy crawlies, undead, and such. With some aberrations and devils tossed in. Devil/demons. So as it continues along, as you can see here, we have some... Still, on each level, have interactions between various creatures and characters that which your party might interact with it in a positive manner. But still, there is still a lot of heavy combat. There is nice, fun moments here and there. Entertainment. I always had to draw the question as to why some civilized peoples might be inside of a dungeon surrounded by monsters, and they magically survive in an area that's only like 10 or 11 rooms. It's one of those weird defects or oversights in most TTRPGs, particularly of the Dungeons and Dragons variety. But as you see, as you go deeper, you get more and more elemental, aberration, demon theme with a few other people, such as shadow people and dark elves and so forth. This adventure is going to give you a few instances in which you're going to have to make decisions between helping people or hindering them. Some of these people are going to look like they're dangerous monsters to the party. You get into a more subterranean area in the back end of that chapter, and going into chapter 9, the hunt, and so forth. More drow. Kind of shifts from one thing to another as you enter different layers. So there you go. What's nice about this is that it keeps going. And then you have your conclusion with the big boss. The Adventurer's Toolbox has a nice little section on Gauntlight and the characteristics of Gauntlight that your players might be able to make use of as they're adventuring. But of course also has side effects once it collapses. Various magical items for a game master to use, such as the Lantern of Empty Light, the Whispering Needs, the Folding Drum, the Edge of Desolation, and so forth. You got some nice handy dandy tools. This is actually the MacGuffin page. These are the fulcrum lenses. There's a total of 4 of them, and they go into the fulcrum lattice. And this is the MacGuffin that makes it possible for your party to easily defeat the boss at the very end. You have various important NPCs that your characters might run into as they adventure. And curses. I don't know why I see characters on this page and I immediately think NPCs, when it's in fact referencing curses on this page. So you, as a game master, is going to gain some extra curses to play with, some new items to give your players and use against your players. You have some interesting variants of monsters that may have some equivalents in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And so forth. The artwork is kind of thin in this version of the book. Some standard demons and some other fun stuff. You have a nice collection of monsters, just to say the least. Too bad that very few of them actually have artwork to show your players or give yourself a good idea of what they're supposed to look like. And then we have a nice little section of the glossary index. And then an advertisement for Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remasters beginner box. Take a step into the amazing world of fantasy adventure. It supposedly is Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remasters beginner box. It should be out now. Huh. I should check that out, see if it actually is. So there's more advertisements for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and there you go. Overall, if you want to get a taste of Pathfinder 2nd Edition in your Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, this is a good step point to get into the world of Golarion and see what kind of quality and build an adventure from Paizo is like. And then if you want to go from here, you can jump into the beginner box for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I didn't realize the remaster might be out, so there you go. I might have to double check and see if that actually is out. But I seriously doubt it. Unless they just simply re-release the original beginner box for Pathfinder 2nd Edition and slapped remaster on it, with a few other things updated in it. But anyways, I do say this is probably a pretty good adventure. It is semi linear. There are some branching side paths, alternate ways to get down one in levels. Some secret rooms and secret passages that allow you to bypass a layer here and there. So as a game master, you're going to have to watch out for stuff like that. You should ideally have your players be able to level up before they go into the next layer down, or as they achieve the next layer, but not too quickly between. They need to complete or defeat as many creatures on a floor as possible. There's actually, on this page right here, I do believe, where is it? Campaign overview, the advancement tracker. It gives you advice on the milestone point in which your party should be able to level up, such as gaining level 2. The characters advance to level 2 after clearing out most of the Gauntlight ruins on the first level. Level 2. The characters advance to the 3rd level after defeating the Ghost Queen Morlocks. So there you go. At some point I want to run this adventure for my players in 5th edition, and then get my other players to run through the Pathfinder 2nd edition version when we get around to that. So there you go. Overall, I do have a feeling that this is a fairly good adventure, and many people like it. And from paging through it and looking at the little sections in the beginning and skipping ahead and reading the overall structure here and there, just preliminary planning and thinking about how it's put together, it feels like it is a very fluid process. Does require you to read a few pages ahead and to make sure that you are not going to get lost in a corner somewhere, and know exactly where a player is going to end up if they take a left instead of a right. So there you go. But overall, I do like it. So thank you very much for watching this video. This is shorter than the other video, but the other video is mostly focused on telling you the differences between the two, not what's specifically in all the layers of each one. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful weekend, magnificent month, and see you next time. Ciao.